Hey everyone, it's Rhonda. Thanks so much for joining me today for a flip through of this little golden book junk journal. I have in my playlist a video where I created this journal. So if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and check it out. I share how I put the signatures in this book and how I kind of planned out what I wanted this book to look like. So that video is in my playlist. I also have journal with me's for a few of the pages in here. As we go through this, I'll point out those that I have journal with me's for, and then go check those out in the playlist as well. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this journal. So this is documenting part of our 2022 Disney World trip. We were there to celebrate the 50th anniversary, so I took lots of photos of the 50th anniversary celebration, and I thought that they went well with the Magic Kingdom photos because the 50th anniversary truly was the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom was the first park at Disney World to open. So I thought that those photos went well together, and so that's what's in here is the 50th anniversary photos and Magic Kingdom. So my journal, I used a little golden book and created a journal out of it. This was brand new. I got it off of Amazon. I just distressed it a little with some sandpaper so it would look a little bit more worn and a little bit not so brand new. I also added some eyelets. Now I've had these eyelets in my stash forever. I think they're old EK Success eyelets. I ran across them in a drawer and I was like, oh, I completely forgot I had these. So I thought it would be fun to add these to my journals. So I used one here and one on the back, and that's what holds the ribbon that's tying my journal together. And then on the side here, I did create a journal charm, and I love how this turned out. Right now, I am obsessed with these letter beads. Like, I remember using these as a kid, but I came across them at Michael's a while ago, and I thought these would be really cool to tie into my journal charms and use that as a way to title my journals. So I've used it in a couple journals, and I did it in this one as well. So this says Magic Kingdom, and then there's another one in here. This one says 50 years. And then I've tied some beads into here. I've also got these little charms. So I think that these are the little things that you put into your Crocs. They fit into the holes of your Crocs. And I bought these off of Amazon, and they already had the hooks on them. So I thought I would just tie them into my journal charm as well. And then also in here somewhere, right here, I've got a Mickey head in there too. So I just really like that. I think that turned out super cute. Really like that. So the journal itself. Now, I love how this turned out. It is a good, proper, chunky journal. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know that I love a good, chunky journal. I also love that there are bits and pieces hanging out. So I've got pieces up at the top, and I've got pieces on the side. So what I've got here, this was a it was a bobby pin that had this castle piece glued onto it. So basically it's kind of working as a paper clip right now. I've got some ribbons hanging out here. Obviously I've got the Magic Kingdom map. And then over here on the side, let me take this off of here. I've got some pom-pom trim. I've got a tab. I've just got all kinds of things hanging out on the side. And I really, really love the look of that. Okay. The inside pocket. Now, if I love using a library card on the inside of this. I have not journaled on this yet. What I will do is just add, like the dates of our trip, what's going to be found in this album, which is, Magic Kingdom photos, 50th anniversary photos, that kind of stuff. I just haven't done the journaling. I'm really bad about doing this card. So it takes me a while, before I actually put it on my shelf and put it away. I will do this, but it's just not done yet. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I do have journal with me's for the first few pages of this over in my playlist, but this is just my title page, and this is the castle all decked out for the 50th anniversary, and this is just on a piece of vellum. And then on the back side, I've got a photo of the same kind of photo of the castle at night, but with the Walt and Mickey statue. This is my favorite. I love this statue. I love it in Disneyland. I love it in Disney World, and I always have a picture of it. So that's in here. Now, one thing that there is no shortage of in this journal is photos of the castle. I do take a ton of photos of the castle. I don't know why. I have no idea. We took my kids in 2018, and my son-in-law kept asking, why does she take so many photos of the castle? I don't know. I just do. And of course, I felt like I had to include like 90% of them in here. So yes, there are a lot of photos of the castle in here. But over here on this page, this was something that we picked up while we were at Disney World. We were in a resort having dinner, and we ordered some onion rings, and this paper was underneath the onion rings, and we asked our wait person if we could have a clean piece, and so she brought me a little stack of it. So I have included that in here. I don't have anything on it. I loved the paper just the way it was, and so I wanted to keep that just like it was. Over here on this side, I've got the cover of the map, and then I've added a couple printables. I've used a couple companies for my printables in this journal. These are from Kelly Bell Designs. She has some 50th anniversary printables that are great. I just printed them out and then cut them on my Silhouette Cameo and have added those throughout this journal. And then I've also used printables from Celine Studios, which is their Project Mouse line, and I can point those out as we go through this as well. I have also included all of the pages from the book. I've left them all in here. They're all intact. They're all in order. I just love that because, you know, if you're going to have a Disney journal, you got to have your Disney book in here. So this is in here. Now, the first thing we've got here is just some photos of the Disney buses that were all wrapped for the 50th anniversary. This was a piece of literature that I got in the mail before we left on our trip, and I love reusing this, recycling it, and putting it into my journal, so that's in there. This I also have as part of a Journal With Me video. This one is also a Journal With Me. This is the orange bird at Disney Springs, and I love the orange bird. And I have an orange bird stamp, so I wanted a reason to use him. So I've got the orange bird stamp on here. I like to also add pages of different sizes throughout my journals, and this is a half sheet of paper, so this is probably, well, it's a 4x6, so I like to include those throughout. So I've got a photo of, this was actually the kind of like the welcome mat when you go into the Disney resorts. All of the resorts had these mats, and I just took a photo of that. This is the picture of the train station all decked out for the 50th anniversary. In our Disney resort room, we had this Your Take Along Guide to the Magic, and I took it home with me, and I've used it throughout this journal. This was the cover, and so I thought that was great to include. Really fun photos of Mickey and Minnie in the castle there. This is a picture that I took of the castle at night, along with all of these. Lots of photos, Journal With Me's for that page. Another photo of the castle at night. I just love it. Like, it was so pretty at night, and the colors were amazing. So yeah, I have a lot of photos. So in this pocket, I made a pocket out of vellum, and I do have a Journal With Me for this one as well. These are the pin backs. So we bought some of the 50th anniversary pins, and I kept the cardboard backing that they were attached to. And I've added some 3x4 photos onto here, and then added some fun ribbon. You can see that that's the pin backs, and they're just in there. And then I've got a little bit of journaling that slides out here. I blew up a photo. I just used my phone and just zoomed in on this, and I wanted to get a photo of just the medallion here, so that's that. Over here, I've just got another picture of the train station at night. More pictures of the train station. This was the 50th anniversary cake. This was at the entrance of Magic Kingdom when you went in. There was the cake. Then I've just got more photos. This was the Mickey topiary. This pulls out, I've got some journaling on the back of that. This I have a Journal With Me for as well. This was a piece of cardboard from the box that our magic bands came in. So I just saved that, again, reused it and recycled it and put it in this journal, and added some photos of Mickey and Minnie in their anniversary outfits. So there they are at the train station. They were the first we saw when we walked in. They were right there waiting for us. And then on the back side of this, this is more of the literature. This came from that Take Along Guide as well. So I've just pulled those out, these pages out, and added them to my journal. I've added some more over here, but then these two are my photos of Chip and Dale in their anniversary gear. I've added some pom-pom trim onto that page. I love pom-pom trim. More castle photos. This was actually a photo of the wall at Orlando International Airport, so I've included that. And then on this side, I have a journal with me for this as well. This was a coffee sleeve from my Joffrey's Coffee. So I've included photos of a couple of our Joffrey coffees. This was at Animal Kingdom. This was at Epcot, and that was at Hollywood Studios, I believe. And then on the back, I just did some journaling and have got just some coffee photo or coffee ephemera pieces on the back of that. And again, use that same ribbon. Love how that looks. This was a photo that, was a photo that I cut out of the Take Along guide as well. So just added that in here. Picture, again, another one of the Kelly Bell Design printables. We went over to the Polynesian one day for just a break, and they had a 50th anniversary like white chocolate piece in their Dole Whip. So of course I had to get it and take a photo. This is a magnet back. So I had the pin backs before. I also bought a magnet, and this was the cardboard backing that was on the magnet. So I just included that on the page, and then there was room for that photo there. And then over here on this page, this is, if you guys have ever ordered anything from Shop Disney, this is the tissue paper that comes in your box, and I have a whole big stash of it because I keep it all just exactly for this reason. I love to use it as a background. So this is one of the Celine Studio Project Mouse printables. There's a whole alphabet printable for these little 3x4 cards. So this one is the castle, so it's C for the castle. So I just cut that out and then added obviously more castle photos. And then over here is where I've used the Kelly Bell Design. She has the castle in her 50th anniversary collection. So again, printed this out, cut it out on my Silhouette Cameo, added that over here with a couple of the balloons, and I think it turned out really sweet. I love doing pages that don't have photos every once in a while, just to draw your eye back in and give you something of interest to look at, rather than it being just photos. All right, over here there is another journal with me. For this is the Fab 50 statues. We went through the 4 parks and did kind of a scavenger hunt where we were hunting for the Fab 50 statues. So I have photos of all of those. Over here, I've got this little Minnie Mouse clip. This was in my stash. All I did was hot glue a paper clip onto it, and this holds this closed. Now, I bought a couple wishables. I bought the Mickey and Minnie wishables, and if you're not familiar with those, they're just little tiny stuffed animals, but they were Mickey and Minnie, and they were in their holiday outfits, so I just bought them to keep in my Disney room, and I kept the wishables tags so that I could incorporate that in my journal. And I've got some photos there that I've added to that. And then there's more photos in here as well. So this is just a glassine bag. And I've added a couple photos on here and then did some journaling about us hunting for the statues because it really was fun. And then over here, I've got another one of the pin backs, and I used it to just attach some photos of more statues. You've got Woody and Jessie there, and then obviously Orange Bird there. And then this is one of the Kelly Bell Design printables as well. I kept the coffee packet that was in our resort room. We used the coffee, and I kept the bag so that I could use it in this journal. And I used that to create a collage of more of the Fab 50 statues. And then there's also some on the back. I've got some photos just throughout the parks of the 50th anniversary logo. So that is that. This was Kelly Bell Designs as well. More of that paper, just the other side of the flip of that paper. Now over here, okay, so I, for years and years and years, did pocket scrapbooking, and this is a small pocket page insert. And I ran across these 5. I had forgotten that we had got these, and I had them sitting in a dish in my scrapbooking room. And after I finished my journal, I ran across them and I thought, wow, how can I use these in my journal? Because I don't know what I'd do with them otherwise. Like I said, they were just sitting in this dish. So I grabbed this pocket page and I added the coins in here. I think they're just like little 2x2 pockets. Yeah, because this is kind of this is a 4x6 size. So there's little 2x2 pockets in here, and I just popped the coins in there. So they've got characters on one side, and then the 50th anniversary logo. So like this one says it was, we got this one at Polynesian. The rest of them are just from throughout the parks, but I put them in here, and I used I have a little tool that seals these up at the top. So I sealed them all, and then I added just some glitter in here and this wood veneer piece, and I sealed that shut. So these aren't going anywhere, they're stuck in there. And then I just added it with a piece of tape after the fact, and I love that these are included in there. So I like how that worked out. For this page, I just took a map and I folded the map over and just attached it to a piece of paper that I had built into my signature. So I've got the map included in there. And then that should be the last of my 50th anniversary photos. The rest of them are Magic Kingdom photos. I'll go through those in just a sec. I need to change my battery. All right, back in business. Okay, so Magic Kingdom photos. So we did not spend a lot of time in Magic Kingdom on this trip. And one of the reasons for that was because there was a part of our trip, we stayed at a Disney deluxe resort. So we stayed at Old Key West for a few nights. And Disney has this promotion right now that if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you're eligible to stay for extra evening hours. They do it on certain nights. When we were there, it was Magic Kingdom and there was an Epcot night. But we were only there for the Magic Kingdom night. So we got 2 extra hours in the park after the park closed for its normal hours. So the park closed at 11 p.m. We were there from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So we had 2 extra hours in the park, and we knew from doing other after hours events that the park clears out. And we knew that we were going to be able to do everything in Magic Kingdom that we wanted to do in those 2 extra hours. So we didn't spend a lot of time in Magic Kingdom other than really that night. So what I have in here is a lot of photos that I took that evening. I was playing with the night mode on my phone, and I was loving the pictures that I was getting. So we went around and we took a lot of photos, and we rode everything. Pretty much every ride was a walk-on. We rode, I would say, probably 95% of the rides in Magic Kingdom in those 2 hours, just because there was no lines. I've just added some photos. So this was us when we drove into the Magic Kingdom parking lot. I just took a picture of the sign as we were waiting in line. These are from the Celine Studio Project Mouse. Just cut out those. Again, these are the alphabet cards, but they're a different set. So these are the ones that have the red. So I just printed out the Magic and the Kingdom and added those. Took some photos on Main Street. This is just one of the grates that around the trees, but it says Main Street USA, so that's why I took that photo. And then I've got this little tag here that says Meet Me on Main Street, a picture of the castle from Main Street, and then some journaling. This was a piece of literature, again, that I got in the mail before we left on our trip. Just wanted to make sure that I included that. Now, we were at Disney in April, and it was, I think, the week after Easter. But one of the little character cavalcades was the Pooh characters, and the little trolley train that they were on had flowers on it. It was so pretty. So I took a lot of pictures of that. On this page, I have some Disney books that I've gotten from thrift stores, and I use them to tear apart and add to my journals. So that's what I did here. I just grabbed one of the Pooh books that I have, tore out the page, and then created this background here to add some photos from the little character cavalcade. So I've got Rabbit and Pooh. We've got Rabbit over here. Little Eeyore hanging out at the back. Piglet and Rabbit again. And then on the back side, we've got another photo of the castle. I've got another small page over here. This was cut out of that same take-along guide that I took from the resort. And then I've just added this here. I've got one for each of the parks. So this one was for the Magic Kingdom. On the back side here, I've got photos from what has to be one of my absolute favorite views in all of Magic Kingdom. I love standing at the castle when it's dark and people are, fireworks are over and everybody's tired and heading home. And to me, the most beautiful view is looking down Main Street. You can see the train station. You can see all of the buildings lit up on Main Street. I just love it. So I took a lot of photos of that and added those in this little pocket. Just put some tabs on it so that, you would know that those came out. So just talked a little bit about my favorite view. Now you will see throughout this section, I have used my Dymo labeler quite a bit. This is one of my absolute favorite tools. It is very, very inexpensive. I got mine on Amazon. They're very, very old school. I love that I can make any title, any journaling, any word strips, any word phrases that I want to, simply by turning the dial and selecting the letter. So if you don't have a Dymo labeler, I would highly suggest getting a Dymo labeler because it just makes life so easy. You can create anything you want there. So I've just created the title that says my favorite view, did a little bit of journaling about that. Over here on this page, this was the way the paper was printed, so I left it. I didn't want to cover anything up because it's obviously very Magic Kingdom. And then I just added this little piece of ephemera that I had too that says characters, rides, souvenirs, parades, and fireworks. Obviously, again, very Magic Kingdom, so I just added that to this page. Now these are some of the photos that I took at night. This was the the Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion at night. I love the way the light is on the Haunted Mansion. I just love everything about it. So I just put 999 happy haunts. I used my Dymo labeler here just to say Haunted Mansion. Over here, this is another one of the Project Mouse printables. This says nighttime. And then on the inside here, I just did some, I used my Dymo labeler again just to say extra evening hours. And then I've tucked some journaling in here about how we were able to do extra evening hours just by staying at a deluxe resort. So again, photos of the graveyard and photos of the busts in the queue. These are just some photos from us trying to nail that perfect photo in the Haunted Mansion. Didn't work. This over here, I've created this little acetate pocket, so it's very hard to see, obviously, because it's acetate and it's clear, but I've just glued this to this page, added a little border strip with a Mickey punch, and then I've tucked the Magic Kingdom map in there. On this side, we've got photos of us. Oh, nope, sorry, one more. This is the Liberty Bell. So I took this when we were standing in line for the Haunted Mansion. In the queue area, I just looked out and it was absolutely beautiful. So I took a picture of the Liberty Bell. This was Small World. These were photos of us on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And this is another one of the Celine Studio Project Mouse printables. It says Laugh. These were photos that I took of just a little stop we made to Gaston's Tavern. Always have to stop and get the LeFou's brew and a cinnamon roll. The cinnamon rolls are hit or miss. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a very dry one. This one happened to be really good, so we sat and we hung out for quite a while in Gaston's Tavern and just had this little snack. And then I took a picture of the Gaston statue out front. This is a page for Dole Whip. So I love Sunshine Terrace. I love the painting on the wall because it's obviously Orange Bird, but it also gave me an excuse to use up some of this Dole Whip ephemera that I have in my stash. So just talked about how it's one of my favorite places to get a Dole Whip in the park. I've got photos over here of Mickey's PhilharMagic. I love Mickey's PhilharMagic. I could watch that thing over and over and over. So just some photos from that. Over here, so Splash Mountain. I love, love, love Splash Mountain. I'm so sad that it's changing its theme. I understand why it has to happen, but I love Splash Mountain. I love the Brer Bear and the Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit. And one of my favorite memories, when you come down off of the splash and you come around the corner and you go into the room that has the big showboat in there with all the characters, that is one of my favorite things about the Magic Kingdom. So I'm sad it's changing. Again, I understand why, but I wanted to make sure I got a photo of Splash Mountain as it was because it is no more. It should open next year as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And I was just there in April and there was scaffolding everywhere. So I know it's not going to look anything like this when it reopens. So I wanted to make sure I had a picture of Splash Mountain, which is one of my all-time favorite rides. So I did a little journaling here on this tag and that just tucks in behind the photo. And I've got some pictures pictures that I took on Pirates of the Caribbean. So there's some photos here. These flip up. So I've got, you know, I was able to use 4 photos here. There's 2 photos here and then 1 photo here. So that's Pirates. And then we've got the fireworks. So I wanted to do a few pages dedicated to the fireworks. So this was the Enchantment show. This is the last time I saw Enchantment before they brought back Happily Ever After, which Happily Ever After is just, it has all the feels. I didn't feel like Enchantment had that, but it was fine. One of my favorite places to watch fireworks is from behind the castle. So if you have seen the fireworks before and you're tired of fighting for a spot in front of the castle to watch fireworks, I highly suggest going behind the castle, either by Beast Castle or back by Peter Pan or somewhere. This was actually right behind the castle. This is where the Friar's Nook is, and then Pinocchio's village house is over here. This is where we stood to watch it, and it is an entirely different experience to watch them from behind the castle. You are surrounded 360 by fireworks. They are literally right over your head. They are so loud. You get the fireworks from behind you. You get them from in front of you at the castle. They are just amazing. I always watch them from behind the castle. It's just my favorite spot. Now, if you haven't seen them before, and by all means, please watch them from the front of the castle, because the projections on the castle are unbelievable. But if you've seen it a few times and you want a different vantage point on it and you don't want to have to fight for a spot, go behind the castle. There's rarely anyone back there, and it's an amazing, amazing experience. So I have a whole bunch of photos from that. I did journal about why we love watching the fireworks from behind the castle, but I've just got quite a few different photos here. So you can see, once you turn around and look this way, you can see the fireworks from the castle as well. But it's just an amazing experience. So we've got lots of firework photos. This flips up. I've got more photos here. Okay, and then the last part of my book is the Festival of Fantasy Parade. We happened to catch the parade. We walked in. This is a parade that I will not wait for. I've seen this parade so many times. I do think it is time for Disney to come up with a new parade. This parade has been here for years. It's just not my favorite. I think it's time. I think it's time for a new parade. For me, it was one and done, but we did stop because when we came back to the Magic Kingdom one afternoon, the parade was going on, so we couldn't really get anywhere. So we just stayed and watched the parade. So I took some pictures of that. So I've got pictures of the characters from the parade. So we've got Snow White and a couple of the dwarfs, Captain Hook, the Maleficent Dragon, Peter Pan. And in here, this is an envelope, and I just put it on its side. And in here, I added some journaling. And on the back, I talked about what I just basically said, that I just think it's time for a new parade. I was really hoping that when the parks reopened after COVID, that eventually they would come up with a new parade, but we still have Festival of Fantasy. So just lots of pictures of Festival of Fantasy. I used this Celine, it's coming unglued, I need to fix that, but this is one of the Project Mouse printables. Again, this is the P for Parade. So I've made a pocket out of this, and then I've got these film strip type photos here. And those just tuck inside of here. Clearly need to fix that. Just more pictures. I've got Little Mermaid, there's Peter Pan. And then the very last page of my journal reminds me of, like when you have the Macy's like Thanksgiving Day parade, the very last float is Santa, and he like wraps up the whole parade. I felt like Mickey and Minnie being the last float in the Festival of Fantasy parade would be the perfect ending way to wrap up my journal. So there you go. I've got Mickey and Minnie here as well. If you guys enjoyed this, if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. Check out the playlist. You'll find, like I said, Journal with Me's for some of these pages, and also the video where I walked through how I created the signatures for this. So if you have any questions, please leave them below for me. Any comments. I love reading your guys' comments. You guys are so sweet in your comments. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.